I know what my role and responsibilities are. And I want everybody to understand we're in this thing together. We're a family.
And everybody wants to know about the quarterbacks. I try not to talk about them too much, John. That's the question, the million-dollar question I get asked all the time.
Cover two. Hey, back up.
No, I never would have imagined just being here. I mean, growing up, obviously you dream of stuff like this.
I always tell players they got the greatest job in the world, and there's nothing like a Sunday in the NFL.
And what we started in September end now on the final day of 2017, and we do it all the way through without a win. And the Browns go through this season winless.
What do you mean, why are we upset? We went on 16 this year. Yeah, we're upset. Go Browns! Yeah! Woo! Perfect season!
Come on, next year's our year. Every year.
Yeah, every year.
This is what we got to look forward to. We got hope. We have hope every year at this time.
And hope is a dangerous poison.
It's now my pleasure to introduce the GM of the Cleveland Browns, John Dorsey. John?
Thank you, Jimmy. It's my pleasure to be here. Guys, I love the National Football League. I love everything about this great game of football. I've always liked the history of the game of football, and then when you mention the Cleveland Browns to me, it brings back vast memories, and I just can't wait to try to build and establish this thing and just move this thing forward. Because you know what we want to do? We want to be competitive every year. We want to be AFC North. We want to compete with these guys year in and year out, and we're going to do that. When I first got to Cleveland, I think it's about 3 months ago, it was really interesting. Just coming off an 0-16 season, I know what you guys feel like. I know you guys are a little bitter. You're probably beaten down a little bit. To be honest with you, you're probably cynical of me standing up here today. But guess what? We're going to change some things right now. Okay, I'm going back to the meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you. I believe in transparency. I don't lie. Actually, my wife, on the first couple weeks when I was courting her, she goes, "You're a bad liar." So, from there on, I've always told the truth. When I got the calls, I didn't flinch. And the challenge, yeah, it's good, but you know what? I'm a guy who's very passionate about the game of football. I believe in the traditions of this great game. I know what my role and responsibilities are. Okay? I like to teach. I like to be a builder. Now, we need some more wins. We're going to get those wins. But I love the history of this organization. I'm sure I'm going to love the people of Cleveland and the players on the team. I think what you have to do to sustain success on the long term, certain things have to be established. We in the personnel staff have to earn the respect of the coaching staff. The coaching staff has to realize one thing. These guys are going to get us players, okay? And then we flip that over from the personnel side. Once we get those players, the coaching staff, we know that coaching staff is going to teach them up and get them to be the best possible player they can. Because any organization's goal should be, have they become better players at the end of their career, but also have they become better men? And I want everybody to understand, we're in this thing together, we're family. Come to work, be excited to come to work. And that's the kind of environment I like to work in. Hopefully everybody else does too.
Are you excited?
What do you think? Yeah. I'm in professional football. I'm with the Cleveland Browns. I mean, I have a chance to see if we can reawaken this franchise. And I mean, if we could do that, I'd be a very proud man. I really would be.
The Senior Bowl really at this part is a really good opportunity for us to be able to see a lot of the top players across the country compete against one another, for the duration of 1 week.
It's pretty easy, Coach. Just take the best available player and move on.
That's right. I totally agree.
First, it's an honor to be here at the Senior Bowl, and it's fun getting to meet these guys from all across the nation. They're some of the best players in the nation. I'm super excited for this moment. This is the only thing I've ever wanted to do.
It'll be fun. You get to stack up and see where you're at. You're playing in a completely new system, and you had 2 hours to learn the system. So, it's a job interview down here. You're trying to do your best and just show teams that you're the right guy for them.
This can't use a camera on the hood. There's one here. There's cameras all over the place. I need to sit in the front then.
How we doing?
How you doing, buddy? I did the media stop today.
How was it?
Well, it's been good. Yesterday was good, watching the guys. Get another good day of watching these guys.
I went up and we did we went one practice.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Was it?
It was awesome.
Did any of the other guys come with you?
They all came.
That's awesome.
Everybody's racing to get to the video.
Right.
That's what they do.
That's what you do.
I think the tight ends, again, have stood out a little bit.
Yeah, and everybody wants to know about the quarterbacks. I try not to talk about them too much, John. That's the question, the $1 million question I get asked all the time. And like I told people, we have a process led by you and your crew, and we'll figure it all out in time.
It's pretty easy, Coach. Just take the best available player and move on.
That's right. I totally agree. Oh, we got guys over here laughing at us, huh? How about your Kansas City guys?
That's Kansas City
yes,
guys. Now they're going to take a picture.
And now they're going to take a picture.
Put it on that tweeter.
Isn't this? I put it on the what?
Tweeter.
On the tweeter. These guys could look over here in this car and tell that was John Dorsey.
No, they saw Hugh Jackson over there. They said the head ball coach.
Lad People's Stadium.
Oh yeah, the gate's open.
Gate's open today.
Okay, we're good.
We're good.
Siri, can you shut the camera off? The Senior Bowl is the #1 All-Star game. I think Phil Savage does a great job running this thing. If I was a young man who wanted to show my wares to people in the National Football League, why wouldn't you participate?
Welcome to the practice for the 69th Annual Reese's Senior Bowl.
The Senior Bowl really at this part in the draft process is a really good opportunity for us to be able to see a lot of the top players across the country compete against one another, for the duration of 1 week. A lot of times these guys are coming from different college conferences, different levels of competition, and really to have them go one-on-one, best against the best, is a really good exposure for us as scouts before we head into our draft meetings and then eventually the combine later next month.
Get your asses going. Let's go.
What you're able to get from live exposure, whether it's from how they interact with their teammates, their new teammates this week, a new coaching staff, how they get up to speed with the new system, that's really valuable insight that you don't normally get if you're just in your office or out of school watching tape.
And that's why in the college process, it's why we go visit schools. Some of the better players I've come across was because I saw them on film, I wasn't sure, and then I had the opportunity to go to the school. I'm like, holy mac, I almost missed this guy. I'm glad I came to see him. So there's nothing beats live evaluation.
The other part of it is just the interaction, with the actual prospects. The All-Star circuit in general, and particularly this All-Star game, is the first exposure for us where we really get a chance to get to know and meet the kids. It can be a lot for them to take on in 5 or 6 days, but that's also the nature of being a professional athlete.
Sometimes it's surprising. There's always a couple players that you're like, how did that person get here, In good ways and bad ways. Like sometimes there's players that you don't think would welcome the competition of the Senior Bowl because they're going to get drafted really high, and they want to just come out here and compete and show who they are. So there are always surprises on the roster.
You don't necessarily know who they are, or you may have an educated guess who they might be, but guys that play in this game that you get to interact with, experience throughout the week, that ultimately become your Pro Bowlers or your stars for tomorrow. Joe Schobert, on our roster was a player like that, and you always have an immense sense of pride when someone who's kind of, homegrown talent ultimately ends up getting to the individual pinnacle, of the profession. So hopefully we'll get a couple more Joe Schoberts out of this game and out of this year, but we'll see who they'll be.
Let's go to Florida.
When I was named first alternate, I was not expecting it at all. I didn't plan on, didn't think I'd have any recognition like that. I'm excited to go down there and kind of learn from guys, like what they do, soak in the whole experience, and enjoy myself. I think it's the biggest thing.
Time to go. Time to go to Florida.
We are here packing for the Pro Bowl, going to Orlando tomorrow morning. What are you packing, Joe?
Sweatpants, shorts, t-shirts.
Coming from the season that we had, we were obviously disappointed, but to have that rainbow at the end of the season, it's awesome for us, and it was really cool being here. Let's go.
Obviously representing the Browns is huge. It's awesome to be able down here with all the other peers around the league who have earned their spots and try to represent Cleveland as best I can. That's why you're smart. What's this, year 4, year 5? I got a couple more years to learn that. Who wouldn't enjoy these practices? You're out here for 45 minutes, walking around, jogging around, and you're around all these Pro Bowlers who have been in the league for a long time. It's just unreal to be on the field with some guys like this, and just trying to learn as much as I can.
I'm super special. I wonder what Joe's doing. Hi, Joe.
I think she was more excited than me right when I got her, because I'm kind of even-keeled guy. Like when I got drafted, I got the phone call. I was like, yeah, hi, thank you, cool. I'm happy, but I wasn't going outward. She was more outward expressions, like, oh, that's awesome. She was at dance. She's a dance teacher, so she was teaching when I got the text about it. So I texted her, and instantly, whenever she was done, my phone blew up, and when she came home, she was really happy. So it was good to see, good to be able to celebrate and share that with her. So
it's been a lot of fun. We've been staying at the hotel with all the players, so it's just kind of walking around and seeing all the guys that Joe's been playing with against all year long. But now they're all relax and a cool atmosphere. So it's been cool to meet everybody.
Where are we going?
We're going to Hogwarts.
Platform 9 3/4.
Oh my God. We got to go to Harry Potter World, and we got to go without all the lines and stuff, so it was super cool. He was acting like a little kid on the Hogwarts Express.
Yeah, Fred and George, let's go.
So it's been a dream come true for him.
I'm the wizard. Gotta hide. There's a dragon on the loose.
Game day! You excited, Joey? Joey thinks it's a picture. He's frozen. Oh, Joey.
Big win today. Big win.
Big win. Good luck! Text me on the sidelines.
Oh, yeah. I will.
Oh, it was very important for me to come down here and support Joe this weekend. Proud of you, but we've still got, a lot more left out there. You can be this, year in, year out if you want to be.
From the Cleveland Browns, linebacker Joe Schobert.
No, I never would have imagined just being here. I mean, coming up, growing up, obviously you dream of stuff like this, and experiencing it once, I want to come back as much as I can.
Why right at the stick. Cover 2. Hey, back up. Play the stick. Defense.
You look terrible.
Hey, that's fine.
That's your thing.
I'll look bad and I'll play good. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. What's up? Hey, Sizzle says the sleeves look bad. He says the sleeves look bad. I don't know.
I think I'm on the half.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, my gloves getting so wet. I could be able to catch anything. Hey, how are you gonna let them do this to my man? They call no holding. No, they're not allowed. Touchdown! Let's go! Get the ball! Get it! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
It was awesome to get the win. A lot of great guys here out for the Pro Bowl. We played in a hurricane. A lot of back and forth. Got down early, came back, able to win it at the end. I mean, couldn't ask for much more. Let me get these Browns guys first. Yeah. Hey, big win, fellas.
Developing players is one of the biggest things in coaching. You have to coach them hard. The great ones, the real good ones, respect that.
You didn't take a lot of time to wait for other job offers.
This really appealed to me. The challenge aspect of it. Hugh, like I said, Mr. and Mrs. Haslam, and John, I mean, I think there's pieces in place to be successful. And, when you're part of that turning around and having success and playing in big games and having success in big games, there's nothing like it. That's what appealed to me, the challenge and the people I was going to be working alongside of. My reputation's overblown. I'm a nice guy. I am. But I think, to stay in this league a long time, and you got to be able to separate the two. I got 5 kids, players all the time. I said, "How you doing today, Coach?" I said, "I'm good. I got to be." When you have 5 kids, you and especially when 4 of them are girls, you got to be good every day. Being able to grow up in a household that I did with a father that was involved with the NFL team, my life revolved around football. Summers were training camp. The school year was really more about all-star games. Our Christmases were better when the Steelers won, because it wasn't big money jobs then, but when they won, you got a little more money came into my dad's pocket, so it was reflected in our Christmases. So thankfully we were able to have some good ones, and to have my father as a resource through the years as I grew in the league has been tremendous.
Any normal splits, we're citing normal site rules, okay? But skinny and semi, we're locking semis and skinnies, okay? That's it, Larry. That's it, Larry. We need you in the fourth. We need you in the fourth. Here we go.
I just always wanted to coach. I had to get my foot in the door, and scouting was what I knew best. But when Coach Parcells came to the Jets, first of all, we all thought we were getting fired, and I told him I wanted to coach. He told me I was crazy and kicked me out of his room, and he must have slept on it, and he gave me that job. So, to be able to learn from Coach Parcells was priceless. I wouldn't be where I am today because working for him was like dog years. 1 equaled 7. He made it very difficult, but you knew you were getting the best possible tutelage that you could. Developing players is one of the biggest things in coaching. You have to have a vision for each and every player that you coach. You have to coach them hard, and that's not always pleasant at the time, but the great ones, the real good ones, respect that in the end, and maybe not at the time, but after you're done coaching them, they're very grateful, which, is the reward. I always tell players they got the greatest job in the world. We got the second greatest job. We're the next closest to being on the field, and there's nothing like a Sunday in the NFL.
Even thinking of the offseason, I just think Miami, because that's just where I see home.
I'm in a unique situation with my dad being in the NFL, so I've been going to the Combine every year since 1994.
It can be very taxing on you. There's enough pressure already to perform.
Here, you're just another number.
I hope I was able to make you guys proud in the way that I was always proud when I told people boldly that I am a Cleveland Brown.